Hello, this is Cheryl Campbell here today at I Am Unlocked live training. If you haven't been with us before, what we're doing is we are moving my business to a new platform that I bought into over a year ago that was in beta called Groove Funnels. And what we're going to do, though, is move my business over to this new platform. And I decided to do this live series so you can learn how to build your own online business. They do have a free version of this software, so you literally can build and get a business up online using all the tools that you need to get into profit before you actually have to spend a dime to grow that business. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're taking one of my websites that is on WordPress currently, and we're going to move it over to Groove Funnels. So in this video, for the next, it'll definitely be under an hour. We won't be more than that. We're going to show you how to build the front page of a website. And if we have time today, we'll also be getting into what you refer to as trust pages. These are the pages that you need to not only be in compliance with the law, especially here in the United States, specifically FTC regulations, but also the pages that most consumers look for if they're going to be willing to buy from you online. So we're going to jump right into the training and not waste any time. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. Give me a sec. Now, as I mentioned, I have two separate accounts. I have a free account so I can show you what you will be dealing with. And then when I'm actually going to be doing the work, I will go into my paid account because obviously I don't want to do the work for my websites twice. So this is what you will see when you first click onto or sign into your Groove Funnels account. You're going to come to this screen when you normally open it. It's the overview of the entire program and what you have. We did this in a previous video, but since this is our first one that we're really going to start diving deep, let me just show you again how you're going to navigate to where we need to be for today's session. Over to the left, you see your overview up on top, and then you see these four little squares. Now we can go from there. It's going to open up this side menu where you have everything listed. Today we're going to be working in Groove Pages. So we can access it by clicking on that. We could also access it by coming up here and saying Manage Sites and Funnels. So let's click on that one. Because you haven't built a site yet, it's going to show you this screen, create your first site, and all you have to do is go New Site here. What we're looking at are all of the templates that are available to you. Now, there are all of these single pages, which is just what it sounds like, a single page template to help get you started. You can hit any of these tags up on top. Small business, it'll show you some of the different ones that they have. If you're building it for a local business, meaning mostly that it is different services that you're going to give people, and it's meant to be local geographically because you have a pet sitting business or a photography business. You can use one of these. They have all different ones here. So what I need you to do before you get started is scroll through all of these, see which one you would like to use. You can preview all of them, and you can see that by using a template, a good part of the work is already done for you. Then all you would have to do is select the template that you would like to use and come in and make the necessary changes. All of this is completely adaptable. This up here, you can change your logo, you can change the writing, your headings, your pictures, but again, it stops you from having to start from scratch. So there's one that we'll take a quick look at, and let's take a look at another one so you can see. Let's go to, how about health and fitness, and let's preview this one. This big picture up and back over here is called a hero image. And you can see that this one here is designed to get some information from the people that come visit your site. You're offering them a guide in this one to capture their name and email address. Now, in future episodes, we will be talking about how to do that. And it is a good idea to have lead capture on your front page. But this is really designed, this one, by looking at it specifically for grabbing a subscriber information. Because we're looking to build a front page for a website, we're going to skip that one. I want to take a look at just one more over here. Let's see what the dentist template looks like. And you can see you could have a picture up here. You have the ability to book online. And of course, all of these services are available to you regardless of which template you use. Again, what you're looking for here is the general feel of it. And if you like that, because it then would be a good place to start. Besides looking at any of these templates that are the single page ones, and don't forget, I should mention this, we can add pages to it later. So if you see something that you like here in the feel of style, go ahead and choose it, because we will be able to very easily add additional pages to make it a complete website for you. But let's go ahead before we pick something and take a look at the complete sites and what is available in the free area. So under complete sites, if I was to start right now, I would probably pick this. Now on the complete sites, for some reason, you're not able to, right now anyway, preview it. So let's just go ahead and choose this one. And I'm just going to say test site to start with. And probably someone else out there on the subdomain of Groove Funnels has already done a test site. So I'm just going to pop in my initials to make sure that it's available. And we're going to click Start Building. Now, if I was doing this for real, what I would do is I would be using the name of what I want my website to be. I'm moving over my dog site, which is Love My Rescue Dogs. So I would have typed that in. When I switch screens over to my paid account, you'll see what I mean. But what you would do is name your business there. And it's going to pull up the template that you chose. Now it's just a matter of going in and adjusting this to your information. This is actually not a bad one to start with if you're doing a personal website that you're going to be branding yourself. If you are a coach, if you're going to be offering training, even if you're going to be offering services. I have a lot of friends that are what you would consider light workers, and they do everything from energy work to readings. And this would be a really good one to start with for anyone that is in that niche. But again, this one is really good if you're looking to brand yourself. And I think I'm going to take note of this when I move over my Cheryl T. Campbell site. Good one to start with. I wanted to show you how you can go to these ones that have multiple pages already. So this is the home template that they give you, the homepage template. When you click on the next page, this is the live coaching page, and you can see the menu up here. So that's another nice thing about using a website template, is that a lot of it is already built in. And you would just have to modify this page, the name of it, whatever you need, and your navigation is already there. So it makes it easier that you don't have to format everything individually. Let's see what other pages are here. Also podcast and workshops. And so every page is slightly different. So this is also a nice one that you can use if you're going to be doing different sessions because you have all of your buy now buttons. And what I mean by that is, say you were doing a coaching session and you had different packages. You can put an image here of the package 1 and just adapt the information below. This could be your package 2, your package 3. Also, if you have an e-com site and that you're going to be selling some physical products, very easy to highlight some of your featured items here. So that's also a decent possibility for this one to be used for more than just a coaching business. I actually am kind of liking this template. Let's see what other pages are available. Your contact page, which is so very important. Really nice to have a template for that. Saves you a lot of time in setting things up. I'm actually just going to go back one moment over here while we're in here, because I may use this and show you how even this could be adapted to my dog site. I'm going to use this one for my I Love My Rescue Dogs. Give me one more second, and what we're going to do is I need to close out of this account and open up my paid account. So give me a sec. So we are in my paid account, and you can see it looks just like the free account. So there really is not a huge difference between a free account and a paid account, again, except for the limits of numbers that you can use in the different ones. And I don't know if I had given you an example before, but for example, they have Groove Mail, and most mail platforms you pay by the subscribers. So if you're using, say, Get Response, you can have up to 1,000 subscribers before the price tier changes. And the same across the board. The more subscribers you have, the more you pay for the right to use that service. In the free account, and please don't quote me on this because I'm not sure of the numbers, but on the free account, say you can have 3,000 subscribers for free. You would not have to pay for additional subscribers until you meet that quota. So me having a paid account already, I have a higher quota. I think my subscribers, I can have up to 10,000 subscribers before I would have to pay any kind of an additional cost. So that's really the only difference. Looking at this here, over here to the right, you can see under Groove Pages that I have 3 things over here, 3 websites. And really what these are is I started playing around with delivering some of my personal development stuff and creating a simple sales page and delivery page, thank you page on this to see how it all worked. Now, once these are up and running, what's really exciting about this for me is that I will be able to see all of my analytics in one area. And that is just phenomenal because normally you have to go to each separate platform to read analytics easily. So anyway, let's move on. We're going to go over here and start building out this I Love My Rescue Dog website. So in the free account, we had accessed it here under Manage Sites and Funnels. This time we're just going to show you again that you could access it over here as well with this drop-down menu, but we're going to be working in Groove Pages, so we'll click on that. And it's going to pull up all of my sites. Now, you won't be able to play around quite so much with these individual sites like this because the free account, I think, allows only 3 websites, which is still more than enough when you're getting going. You could do everything you need on just 1 website. But I was playing around with how I wanted to lay all of this out, so that's why you're seeing so many right now. And even though the other day when we were live and I didn't like the way that it was going because I was taking up too much of your time, I had already started the site, but because I decided that I wanted to use a different template, before I opened up this window really quickly, I hit delete. So we're going to do it again. So I'm going to click New Site, and we are going to click over here to Complete Sites. And I'm going to look for that one that I had liked, and it was the 6-figure coach template. And again, this is going to show you, let me just name this quickly. Let it do its thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you here on how easy it is to customize one of the templates. And the fact that this was meant for coaching and I'm turning it into a dog site really will show you exactly what I mean. Now, I want to mention one other thing, and that is about up on top over here with the different screen sizes. Right now, I am on my desktop Mac. And if I want to see what this is going to look like on the other devices, I can just click here. This one is reflective of a laptop. This is a tablet turned in that direction. This is the tablet turned in the other direction. And this is your smartphone. Now, what you can see is going on here as well, because we're using a template, it is automatically adjusting to the size of the device that you're using. If you were starting from scratch, building out your site, you may have to go in and make changes to each one of these. And this little question mark here actually is indicative of that. How to learn how responsive breakpoints work. And you would come in and design each element separately on each device. Now, it is always good, even when you're using a template like we are here, that as you're designing, you make sure you come in and you see if everything is looking the way you want it to. And when you test your website to see how it's looking, you also want to check it on multiple devices. So I happen to have a desktop, a laptop, a cell phone, and an iPad. So I do check it across all media or all devices to make sure that the sites look the way that I want them to. I do, however, like working in the big screen. So we're going to start there. One of the first things that I like to do when I am creating a new website is I like to go into the settings to make sure that I don't forget to do this. So we're going to show you how to do that. Over here with this little radio buttons up here, just click on that and click on Site Settings. Now this is true whether you're working in WordPress or Square or whatever. Somewhere on that platform is going to be a place that you can do settings. Now, it may not always be as easy as it is here, because again, Groove is all about making everything easy for you. So one of the first things I'm going to do is add My Favicon. Now, a favicon, if you're not familiar with that, is that little image that you see at the top of the page. If you go all the way up here to this left corner where it says Groove Funnels, that little G is their favicon. Now, me personally, I use one favicon, and that is for the one that I use for my company for Winds of Change, because I don't know why I do that. I don't do individual website ones. I simply use the one for my LLC. So I'm going to click over here and say choose image. And because I was playing around with this, there already is one here. And this is the little favicon that I use. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to say select. So now, the fact that it is listed there, I know that it actually is present, even though right now I'm not seeing the image. This is also where you can choose a font that will be universal to the entire website. You can always go on individual segments and change it. But if you like one particular font style, it would be wise to choose it here because it will put it across all of the pages for you. Because I am liking this template, I'm going to leave everything the way that they have it. I'm not going to change a thing. Custom CSS, if you don't know what that is, do not even think about it right now. That's kind of some advanced design stuff. I've never really found the need to use it recently. Years ago, because there were not a lot of themes available and there wasn't a lot of easy ways to change design, you did need custom CSS. Today, not so much. But if you do need it, you could find some help, but I really don't think you will. This is all about doing something basic, getting it up and running, and you can always tweak things later. So if you ever do find the need for it and you don't know how to go about finding somebody to help you, reach out to me and I'll give you some sources that you can contact. So the other thing that is in the site settings that you need to know about, they allow you to put in different codes that you need for tracking purposes, for Google Analytics, and other things to help you. Again, they make this super easy. A lot of templates do now, but they make it super easy, and all you have to do is follow instructions from whoever the code is coming from. For example, when you create a Google Analytic account, they will give you instructions on how to create that analytic code, and they will tell you, now go put this in the head section, or put it on the top of the body section, or put it at the bottom of the body section. And to make it super easy now, you would only have to copy and paste, come here, and do it here if you want it to be website across the entire website. You can also add specific coding for individual pages. Now, don't get too worried about this now. We're going to treat each one of these as we move along. For example, when we get into our sales funnels, I'll show you how to put tracking on individual pages. And at some point, I will go in and I will do my Google Analytics here. But right now, not quite worth getting sidetracked by doing that. The whole purpose of this is to get up and running quickly so you can get into profit before you have to come back and tweak everything. I want to mention one more thing here, though, because Open Graph is a really cool thing. Open Graph was first introduced by Facebook, I think back in like 2010. And what it does is it allows you to decide what elements you want to share with others when people share your website. So in other words, Barbara comes up to your website and they see something that they like and they share it on social media. If you have a bunch of different images like this page does, it's going to be random what is shown and shared. So this Open Graph area down here to the right gives you the capacity of deciding what you want shared when someone shares your page. So there are recommended sizes that you should use for your image. Off the top of my head, it's, I don't know, like 1200 by 630 or something like that. But again, we're not going to get too worried about that now because imagery is a whole thing that you do have to take into consideration. And it could be expensive and intimidating if you get other people to do it for you. There are so many wonderful tools that are available to you, like Canva, for actually designing your own images with a lot of templates that they have. So we're going to do a separate session on how to create some of your basic images. Super simple to do, a lot more so than you realize. And even if you feel like you don't have a design bone in your body, it doesn't matter, because again, places like Canva have so many free templates on it that it truly is easy to do. So we're going to be talking about open graph images and headers and everything else in a future session. So I just wanted to mention it here because it is important to do this type of step to make sure that when people share your information, that it's what you want to be shared. And this OG imagery and everything is the whole open graph thing. I have to tell you this too, is that it's super complicated if you have to do it on your own. So WordPress has some plugins you can use. And again, I'm just not sure about the other platforms, but if you are on other platforms and you don't see it readily available to use, do some research, find out what kind of plugin you can use for your particular platform if you're not using Groove, and make sure that you take this step, because it does give you some extra pull in SEO optimization. And again, SEO is search engine optimization, so important to do. And you do it here in Groove under site settings. But then when you do individual pages, you also could set your open graph information for each individual page. Again, we're going to develop that little image in another session after we set up the real key points here that we're going to tackle first. So that's what I wanted you to know about in this. Every time that I work anywhere, I always make sure I click that little click mark to make sure that it is being saved, and then I can X out of that. Now, the other thing that I want you to look at over here under pages is the different navigation that is available with this particular template. They have 4 pages already set up for you. And the first thing that I'm going to do is decide how I want to rename these pages to apply to my site. So I'm going to take just a brief second of silence to think about that, and then we'll move forward. Just give me a second to think. My website currently features dog training and highlights rescue groups. And also I have some physical products like t-shirts, sweatshirts that are related to dogs for humans in my store. So looking at this over here, it kind of makes sense for me to do this first one here, podcast and workshops. See how it says /store? To make that my store, and to make the live coaching the part of the website that is going to be the training. We're going to start there, and then we'll come back to the home page. So let's click on these 3 little radio buttons here that say live coaching, and I'm going to rename that, and I'm going to name it dog training. And of course, I need to spell it correctly. I'm going to click this little button here to save the changes. I'm going to come down to this one, podcasts and workshops, do the same thing, say rename. And I'm going to name that, oh look, I spelled that wrong again. Let me go back. I thought I fixed that. Rename dog training. And I don't know why it's not fixing it. Oops. Hang on a sec. Let's go back. Now, sometimes little things like this happen, and again, they are still in beta. So you are going to have little issues here and there. For some reason, the spell check isn't working. That's not a major issue. If you come across a glitch that is happening over and over again. Because we are in beta, you can come down here under feedback and send them a note that will tell them about the issue. That's the whole part about being in beta. You get to put your 2 cents in as well. All right, so let's go back now that did save properly, and let me go to this other one here and rename my other page. Now, I want to mention one quick thing too. When you're naming these pages, search engine optimization is an important thing to get natural traffic to your website. And a lot of times, without getting super deep into SEO strategies, there are a few basic things that you can do to give you at least the basic structure to begin with. So dog training, I didn't even have to think twice about. I know that is a keyword that people search for in Google. But when it's coming to products that I want to let people know that I have, there's a quick way to figure out what to name this. So I'm going to take a second and show you that. We're going to open a new window. So an easy way to do this is to go ahead and type under the Google search. You can do this up on the top over here, or you can do it over here, depending on your preference. And I'm going to type in, I'm going to start with GIFs. And I'm going to see how they're dropping down there. It's giving you ideas for keywords right for there. A lot of people that type in GIFs right off the bat continue with for mom, for men, for dad. So you know these are keywords that people search a lot. So I'm going to go on and say for dog lovers. At least type in, and as I start, perfect example, as I start typing in dogs, right there, boom, up pops GIFs for dog lovers. So now I'm going to click on that. Now, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of your page, all the way down, yours might be shorter. I have a lot of things that pull up here. You can see over here, down on the bottom, that there are searches related to GIFs for dog lovers. And I may like one of these better, personalized GIFs for dog lovers. Now, not all of my items are personalized, so I'm not going to use that. I may decide that I like GIFs for dog parents, or one of these other unique dog GIFs. That is an interesting one. I'm going to open that in a new link. So here, there are still a lot of results. There are some dog ads over here, some ads. But what I'm looking for here is to see if it's for the dogs themselves or if it's for the humans. And an easy way to decide that too is to just look at images. And as you can see, a lot of what you're seeing, no, actually it's a mix. It's a mix between GIFs for actual dogs and GIFs for humans. So that's not a bad one to use. I actually kind of like that. Go back to GIFs for dog lovers for a second and take a quick look at images there. Let's see what kind of competition there is. Again, there's a nice little mix. Go back to all. I think to keep this just a quick decision, I'm going to use unique dog GIFs. So again, just to make this clear, when you're typing in something that you need, think about what you're going to be promoting, what you're selling, what that page is going to be about, and a simple way to do it. Say I was on my Cheryl T. Campbell site and I was going to be having a page with this training. And basically what I'm offering is free training for entrepreneurs. So I don't know, I could type in free training and see what pops up. Free training programs, free training tutorials. What I do know are these are keywords that a lot of people type in, so I can go and explore very quickly and not really have to understand the basics, behind SEO. It's just a real quick way for me to start in the right direction for when I am doing this. Since we're talking about dog stuff, let's do this, even though I know dog training is a word that is used all the time. I type in dog and go to, there's dog adoption. We love dog adoption. And see, as soon as I start typing in TR, the training comes up. And so I could click on that, do some quick research by hopping all the way down to the bottom of the page and seeing what other options there are. Because I am doing online stuff and not physical dog training near me, I may decide to go back and change that other one to dog training tips or dog training courses. Again, it gives you a leg up on SEO without really understanding all of the fine, intricate details of SEO. By the way, we will also be covering that in future topics. But again, right now, we're looking to get up and running quickly. So I am going to take that quick research that I just did and name this page Unique Dog Gifts. Can I spell correct this time? Unique Dog Gifts. I'm going to click this little button so it is saved. All right. Now I'm going to close out these windows just because. And now what we're going to do is go back and start the structure of turning this template into my dog site. I'm going to take a second to mention something that, if you notice, automatically happened. The second that I changed the title of these pages, up on top, the system changed the navigation for me. Again, super easy. This does everything for you as you're working, which is so great. So let's start with, before we get started, I want to go back here and rename this one more time because I did like the idea of doing the dog training tips. Click save. So I'm going to go back to over here, and I am happy with the name. I do not want to hide it from navigation, so I'm all set to come over to this dog training tip page and start in. Nope, I'm sorry, I'm still on my home page. If you look up here, it also tells you what page I'm on. So I'm going to use the drop down menu and I'm going to go to dog training tips. Now my goal here, and I'm going to show you a little bit here and then we're going to stop for the day and we'll continue in the next session on fleshing this out to look more like our site. But I have some ideas on what I want to do here. So I'm going to apply those ideas now. This is, again, my dog training tip page. So I'm going to come in here and just change this heading. And I will think about what I want to say here for copy and change that at a later time. And also, this is a button that will lead you somewhere. For this particular instance, book a free consultation. I'm not going to be doing that, so I have to decide, what do I want to put here? It may be download a free training tip PDF. I have to think about that. So we're going to leave that for now. What I do know is that since this is going to be a dog training tip page, there are already here 3 little columns here. I'm going to take advantage of that and I'm going to put in here 3 topics that I know are training issues with dogs. So one of those issues that a lot of pet owners care about, let me just get, and sometimes, okay, See, I just tried to type in here and it wouldn't let me change it like it did up here where it was super easy just to change this. That's because this is a text box. And the way that I know that is now by looking up on top on this right corner, it says text. All right, and it's telling me a little information here. And all of this is how I could change the way it looks and all of this other stuff. We're keeping it simple, so I'm not going there. I just want to point out the difference that this is a text box, so I can very easily add words, take away words from there. When I come down to here and I click on this, now we look up here and it says link. So this is a link box. You handle those a little bit differently. What you do is you go to configure over here, and that's where you get to type in what you're looking to do. So I'm gonna get rid of that, and I'm going to type in one of the training issues that I know people have, and that is barking. And I'm gonna click update. And you'll see over here, it changed to barking. All right. And I'm gonna click on it again to show you a little bit more. Now, as I build out the website and I build more pages and I create articles on dog barking, what I will do is I'll come back here and I'll place the link here. And I'll click on URL and I'll click here to put the information on where I want this link to go. A little hint right now that I'm going to give you is to, as you're doing this, make a little physical file. Grab some paper off of your printer or whatever, or of course you could do it digitally on a notepad on your computer. Some of this stuff I like to write out by hand, but make yourself a note that come back to dog training tips. Make sure you insert links and leave yourself little notes to make sure that you remember to do all of these different things as we're building out the site. All right, so now the next one, I don't have a link for that yet, so we're going to do that later. All right, but I do know that another dog training issue that people have, again over here, I'm going to come here because it's going to be a link, is aggressive behavior. And I'm going to click update. And you can see again, it switched it here. Now the other thing about doing it this way, oh, and look, that little glitch that happened not too long ago when you use spell check, is it didn't fix it here. Maybe let me renew my page, refresh my page and see if it did work. Let me come back to dog training tips. Oops, got to do that from here, dog training tips. Oh, and you know what? I didn't save everything. This is a little lesson learned. I didn't save everything up on top over here, so it didn't save it. So I've got to click on this again, go back to configure. This first one, I want to be barking. And I'm going to update that there. But see how I didn't click save here? That's why it did not save. But I'm going to do all of them and then I'll save the page. So this one I want to be aggressive behavior. And this last one, let me hit update here. And then this last one, another issue that a lot of people have with dog training is that their dog pulls on their leash all the time. So walking is difficult. So I'm just going to say walking your dog. Now, if I want to be a little bit SEO forward again, I could go do that quick search again and see what kind of keywords fit these different descriptions that I'm looking for. Another thing that I could do is I know that I am promoting someone else's training for this. I like this trainer called Doggy Dan, and I just like the way that he does positive reinforcement and everything. So I could go to my affiliate page from him and find out what kind of topics that he promotes on his training, and I could correlate it to what I'm putting here. I do know that he deals with barking now that I think about it, and I do know he has a section on aggressive behavior. So I'm keeping it congruent with my page and then what his offer is. So that's always a good thing to keep in mind too, is try to think ahead and tie it together with what some of your offers are going to be. Now let me hit update here as well. And again, because I hadn't saved the whole thing, this part had changed on me. So I'm going to go back here again and change this back to the dog training. So dog training tips. And now I'm going to hit save up on top over here. So everything gets saved. It shows you down here content saved, and it also says saved here. So now I know everything is good to go. Now I'm going to show you just a couple of other little things, and then we're going to end today's session so we don't go too long on any particular training session. When you are doing this planning ahead, think about, again, this block was here already. So think about what's already in that template design and think about what can I put here? How does this apply to my business? Because these pages were designed by people that have so much experience and a lot of marketing experience and a lot of design experience. But the fact that this particular template has these links here, I want you to think, even though at first you may not have thought about, oh no, I don't need that kind of link, think about how you can utilize that. Use their skill and format it. Come up with how you can use it for you. All right, I hope I'm being clear about that. It's like use what they have and just adapt it to your website and your offerings. So as I scroll ahead over here, and I'm going to be looking at these different sections, my mind's going to start working. And how can I use this to design my website different? Originally, my thought was that I was just going to carry over my current website that I have on WordPress and bring it over here and just basically mirror that original website. But now that I'm physically doing the work, I'm like, no, I'm going to take advantage of this myself. This is a modern design, and it was designed by experts in the field. So let me see how I could adapt what they have to what I'm offering. So we're going to come back here on the next session and continue to change some of these things after I have a little bit of time to think about it and how I could best adapt the information that I have to the existing design. Now, before we stop, I am going to go ahead and go to the other page, to the unique dog gifts. So I also could make some quick changes here and start the thinking process on how I'm going to adapt this to my website. I know right off the bat that I need to change this. Let me just delete this out. And this is where we are going to have our unique gifts for dogs. So unique, what was my keyword? Unique dog gifts. And I'll think about what I want to put here. I'll think about where this is going. I already know where this is going to lead to. Over here, I'll probably do some kind of quick little guide that they can download and something that highlights all of the different things that we offer. Or I may build out my Groove cart for the dog site and link this to there. I have to think about that. So over here, again, we have 3 different links that are already here. So off the top of my head, I know that some of my products are, and it's a link, so again, I have to come up here under configure and change it here. Some of the dog products are, I have t-shirts. So I'm going to say t-shirts and sweatshirts. Or how about t-shirts and other clothing? Gonna do a little research on that. For right now, I'm gonna say t-shirts and sweatshirts just to keep it simple. Sweatships. That's definitely not the right word. Okay, I'm gonna update that. And look how, see over here, their spell check is definitely not working. It kept the sweatship. So be aware of that. That is a glitch that I may report if it continues to happen and it doesn't get corrected. So sweatshirts, I have to physically go in and do it and hit update, and it should take care of it now. And it did. All right. So another topic, another part of the unique gifts that I have is I have footwear that is dog related and socks. So I'm going to say socks. I'm going to update that. Now this already is linked to something, all right? And I will take a look at that the next time. I'll write myself a little note. Right now, looking at this, it's telling me that something down here is labeled a block. And if you click on this here, it's going to scoot you down the page and bring you to whatever section that is. That's another really cool thing about this, is the way it's easy to link not only to outside URLs, but to specific areas within the page itself and to other pages within the website. Let's go ahead and do this last one. The other thing that I have is backpacks. So let's just say backpacks here. And I may rethink all of this as we continue to work here on what things I would like to highlight. What I do know now is that what I can do is start thinking about what I want to put here. This is a great place for me to feature some of my unique designs. I can put the image up here, and then the individual buy now button could be for them to purchase that item right from this page. I could make each one of these sections something different, like this could be the t-shirts. I'm going to go ahead and, is that text? That's text, so I could change this right here. I'm going to say here featured t-shirts or featured clothing. Okay, and let's go ahead, slide down, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put some items in here that are the t-shirts and sweatshirts. This section here could be my footwear and socks. So the only reason why I'm coming in and changing this now is as a reminder of what I'm thinking in my head right now. So I'm just going to type footwear here for now as a reminder. All right, here I can describe it a little bit. And again, I could put here featured designs again. So I could also say featured fun footwear. Maybe I'm just going to call it fun footwear. And this last one would be, what did I say? Backpacks. And again, I could change this however I see fit as I go along. The reason why I probably will concentrate, let me put backpack can't do two things at once over here today. Backpacks. Just as a reminder to myself, I'm going to go ahead and hit save so I don't lose any of my work. Now all of this will be here for me next time. And the reason why I'm thinking that I'm going to keep the dog gifts on this page, the physical products, the clothing, the backpacks, the footwear, is because they're my products that I designed, and therefore I make more of a percentage of it because I know what my cost is for those items. I get to set the profit level, and I have more control over it. If I put some other affiliate stuff like dog toys and that kind of stuff that I don't have direct access to, it's a little bit harder to keep control of that kind of thing. So I'm having a feeling that I'm probably going to keep it to the products that I have designed. Now, down here, though, I just scrolled down a little bit further where this says journals and planners. I also have access to some fun doggy calendars and stuff. So I may reconsider that and plug that into this area. But again, the way that they have this set up, it gets my creative juices flowing on how I could adapt what I'm doing to this particular template. Okay, that is it for today. In our next session, we're going to continue building out this website. And once we're done with the way that I want the website to look, then we're going to be moving on to how to monetize it. So we will see you in the next I Am Unlocked live training. And until then, I am sending you much love and many blessings. Bye-bye for now.